What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome in to another edition, another Football Friday of MVP Sports Live. I am joined, as I always am, with my beautiful co-host, Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
Dave, how's your Friday doing? Or I should say, our Friday doing today?
I'm at the point of hangry. I haven't eaten. I've got no food in my house. I haven't gone grocery shopping since. We're going to stay like December 14th or so. So I'm pretty deep in reserves. I've got a single egg and some rice. It's not quite a meal. So I'm looking for food. This first meal of the day coming up in probably an hour and a half. The show's going to be a banger.
By the way, Dave, just so you know, and I will tell you live on the show, at the end of the show, what you just made me nervous about, because I voiced this opinion to Jake and JD yesterday in the watch on. I'm like, I didn't want to say it in front of Dave. You never want to jinx anything. But I may have jinxed it last night by bringing it up. So we'll see after the show today if we jinxed what I was saying. So a little hangry might end up in a jinx today. But we got a jam-packed show, as Dave was saying on Twitch chat to all you guys. We're talking about coaches today. Football, baby. Jets get a coach. Jags get a coach. Falcons get a coach. Everybody except the Lions get a coach.
Way to Oprah it.
I think the Lions are the only job left, question mark? Oh, Texans. Yeah, well, Texans and Eagles. Okay, 3. So there's 3, not just 1. Lions, Eagles, Texans all need coaches, but we have 3 coaches. Chargers, too. I forgot Anthony Lynn. We talk about them, like, getting fired, and then after that, it's like, shit, who needs coaches?
Someone to be eliminated from the playoffs to get their coach.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't seem that way.
There's a couple of those candidates out there, but we got coaches to be talked about. And then, Dave, we got games to talk about this week. 4 on the docket, divisional playoff round. It might not be a super divisional playoff round, but it is a football playoff round nonetheless. I can't wait for them. I think they're going to be great games, and I've got one that I specifically want to ask you about in terms of the line and everything. But let's get into the housekeeping before we get into everything. Number 1, join the Discord if you are not in it already. Best community on the internet, and it is free to get into. Link down below in the description or / Discord into Twitch chat. Get you in there. If you would like to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is one way you could do that. You could support us and get rewarded for supporting us, or you can sub to us on Twitch and get the same rewards that a bronze patron would get. You get a Prime Gaming each and every month. Kurt Schilling, why not us? Why not throw it at us and get rewarded for the month?
Is that really Kurt Schilling quote? Or are you
no, it is. It was when they, the year that they beat the Yankees. It was, they were, that was the year they were down 0-3, and he goes, why not us? Why not us? So that's what I always reference it back to. We're always on Twitch, twitch.tv/MVPvids, and we're on YouTube at MVP Sports. So go ahead, follow, like, sub at all those places. You never miss anything from MVP. But Dave, like I said, we got coaches to talk about, and the biggest one on the docket is the team that didn't have the worst record, but let's be honest, they are the worst team in the NFL in my eyes.
Are they?
That's the New York Jets. I think so. But yet again, was it just because they had the worst head coach in the NFL?
I think Adam Gase played a heavy weight on that. I don't know that the Jags were much better than them.
Yeah.
Obviously, the record tells one story, but what we saw with the eye test is a little different. I mean, if you're already putting someone on the Jags, then it gets a little toss-uppy. But I think as it stands today, it's a good pickup for the Jets. I think he's someone who well-respected amongst the league, well-respected amongst guys in the right position. So, look, I'm going to be honest here.
Yeah.
You can't get lower than Adam Gase. So he could go in there, show up and wear jorts to his interview, his first presser.
Yeah.
He could be jorts. He could go full Canadian tuxedo, cut off jean jacket, jorts, somehow a third layer.
Does he have the Phillip Rivers bolo tie though?
He could pull all that together.
Is he going Canadian suit and bolo tie?
I would still be more impressed with him than Adam Gase.
Yeah, I mean,
he can't be worse.
And that's the thing with this. Robert Saleh, hired to be the Jets' new head coach. There was an article on ESPN that I put in our rundown sheet, Dave, that intrigued me, where it's written by Rich, I'm fucking gonna fuck up this name, Samini, I hope I'm saying that right, and it says, why Robert Saleh will be a Pete Carroll, not a repeat for New York. And basically the whole thing is, second paragraph in, he goes, in other words, he's anti-Adam Gase. And later on he goes, for Pete's sake, the feel-good vibe is back with the Jets, and they need it, man. Do they need it? After 5 straight losing seasons, including a 2-14 stinker under Gase, they need a coach who's glass half full. A coach who can galvanize the entire locker room, not just one side. A coach who can motivate and inspire. A coach who can connect with fans, none of which Adam Gase did. And, like, there's a part of me that goes, is the bar so low in New York that Saleh can do anything and it's good? Like,
yes.
Basically, he can come out and have a, 5? That may be too high. He can have like a 4-win season next year, and people are still going, woo, at least it's not Adam Gase. Like, is that what we're talking about?
Baby. That's all we're trying to do here, Ricky. This is not a team that is in the retooling phase. Yeah. They're a team with expectations that are as low as it gets. So I think that Saleh can, like I said, he literally can't he can't do anything worse than what Gase has done. He's a well-composed speaker publicly, so he's not going to have embarrassing press conferences where he does weird shit. Everyone's like, are we sure we want this guy to have this much power in our organization? Like, Adam Gase press conferences are fucking hilarious as long as he's not your coach. So no, I think that he's gotten a lot of opportunity. Whether he chooses to stick with Sam Darnold or not, we don't know yet. That will be a great conversation because I can't wait to see what happens. I want to say it's going to come down to, like, I don't know. I was like, it depends on how much he likes Fields and or Wilson. I think both those guys could easily step in and do a job, and it's the, like, 3 more years of contract control versus Darnold, who is due up for an extension in the very near future. So that's probably the first decision he has to go ahead, discuss with the front office, and try to figure out their plans for, because that will set the tone for the entirety of his run with the Jets. New coach, you want to say new quarterback, but again, Sam Darnold does have that. He's shined in moments. Is there something there? Do you think that he is going to be the guy who can put the coach next to him who helps unlock him?
Yeah, and, like, to me, that was the first thing I thought of was great. I still don't know what their plan is with Sam Darnold, because mainly due to the fact that Robert Saleh is a defensive head coach. I know how in the past, there's a quote I have here. So a year ago, he was at the QB coaching summit, and he kind of talked about what goes into kind of making a good coaching staff. And one of the quotes that, like, the Jets blogs are kind of running with is, you have to know your weaknesses, Saleh said. You have to connect and understand yourself, and you have to understand what you can't give a player. No one coach can give you anything. So, like, to me, does that mean, did the Jets make this hire because were they looking for a guy that, like I said earlier in their process, were they looking for a guy that's like, no, I can work with Sam Darnold and I can build a staff to help Sam Darnold succeed? Or were they sitting there going, well, could you help a Zach Wilson or a Justin Fields? I think it's more the former than the latter. I think that this Jets team, and yet again, I'm not in the front office. They could be on the other side. I just feel like they may feel like we used a high pick to get Sam Darnold. The coach we paired him up with, we want to see what he can do with you. So, like, that's why I feel like this is more of a, when I see the old comments and then I think of this, it's more of a, let's see what kind of a staff Robert Saleh can put around Sam Darnold to make sure that his potential is unlocked. Because so far it's been 2 years and his potential's been not really unlocked at all. Like, yeah, there's been some improvement, but at the same time, it's like, well, Jameson Crowder's your number 1 receiver, so that's kind of not a good thing, even though Jameson Crowder had some good days in
Robbie
fantasy.
Anderson the year before.
You're right. They had Robbie Anderson the year before he went to Carolina to be a Panther and play with Teddy Two Gloves.
Not a star, but he's a pretty good wide receiver.
The running backs, especially this year, you have, like, aging Frank Gore, who had some good runs.
Yeah, Frank Gore.
Ageless Frank Gore. By the way, I will say this quick aside. I think Frank Gore is the only reason why he is still in the league is because he wants to do the LeBron James treatment. Is he's waiting for his son.
Ken Griffey Jr. treatment.
And Ken Griffey Jr. treatment of I'm going to go ahead and wait for my son.
Cal Ripken treatment. I'm trying to think any father-dad combinations. I know Cal and Griffey were in our life easily. Yeah, in the NFL, I'm trying to think if there was ever a situation where it was a father-son in the league at the same time. I can't think of it.
The only one I can think of is the Lux, but they weren't in the league at the same time, obviously.
Right.
But, like, that's the thing. Like, this team didn't, especially offensively, didn't have the pieces, didn't have great wide receivers, didn't have fucking good running backs.
Gave up on them, and they gave up on the running back. And the running back gave up on them.
Yeah, and then their coach was a buffoon. So it's like
Adam Gase. How do you use Le'Veon Bell? Well, we're never going to throw him the ball. Never throw him the ball. Only power run.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Adam. I'm sorry. I know this is all
positive. Go ahead. Rant away.
As we're talking about how they can get better going forward, it's just like the fingerprints of Adam Gase and what he's done to this organization.
Yeah.
It's hilarious and frustrating, and I'm sure this, like, the feeling that we had as Bulls fans when we got rid of the thumb, it has to be extremely similar to what they're feeling right now over in New York. They're happy they've got someone who is a winner, someone who has, like I said, a great reputation, and hopefully he can turn this franchise around, but it's not going to be overnight. I think it's, hey, we're going to add an offensive lineman in the first round early. We're going to add some a talented wide receiver right after that, and then let's build out the rest of this team. Like, they've got two big needs on offense, and then from there on out, you can pretty much just attack whatever position you feel. I don't know, Ricky. I did not. I don't remember the mock off the top of my head of yours, which was good. And if you guys haven't seen Ricky's mock, go check it out on YouTube.
You're asking what I had the Jets did, right? That's I had them trade. Like, that's the thing. I had them trading because I feel like a quarterback needy team is going to trade for them.
LaFleur, as in the brother of LaFleur, who is the Packers organization, is joining.
All right, like, that's the thing. Like, is he going to be the same as his brother? Matt LaFleur.
You hope they're similar. You hope they're, I mean, the Grudens were good coaching tandem.
One better than the other. Jay didn't really pan out as that, but yet again, little LaFleur.
Not a great head coach. I will say that. I think Jay as a coordinator worked out okay.
I mean, he worked out in fucking Cincy before he went to Washington.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was another, the Schottenheimers.
The Rex, Rob and Rex.
Yep. So again, hey, I think this is a situation where you're like, we get a little rub off that. Yeah.
Or was it Bob Ryan? I'm just thinking of his fucking crazy flow on the sideline for the Saints and the Cowboys. Here's my last question with this. Is there going to be now a trend with Adam Gase teams where, look at Miami, 3 seasons of Adam Gase, they finally move on from him. Boom, the guy they bring in, defensive-minded coach, who was a coordinator with a team that had some success. Boom, Miami is now in a place where we think they will be successful. They were winning record this year. We'll see if they're successful the next year. I do agree with you. This will not be a turnover night where the Jets are, boom, a 10-win team. But could this be another situation of you get rid of fucking Adam Gase, you bring in a coach that can build a culture, knows his defense like the Dolphins did, and this could be a Jets team that's like, wow, maybe the AFC East is going to be a little different, where it used to be the Patriots just kicking the shit out of everyone else, and now it's 3 teams that are good and the Patriots are not good.
It would be karmic if the Patriots got the shit kicked out of them for like the next couple years at least. I think that's only fair. You win that many Super Bowls in a short time span, you're due a couple bad years.
Yeah, I wonder if this is, yet again, we don't know. Neither of us have crystal balls, but like, is this going to work out the same way that it did for the Miami Dolphins? Because
to replace Tua Tagovailoa, then maybe they will be at the top of the division. Who knows? They could be fighting for it.
Apparently, Dave, he went from a 2 to a 10 real fucking quick there in Houston. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously, what happens there. The other coaching hire, the next one that actually dropped yesterday, worst kept secret in the entire NFL, was Urban Meyer eventually getting it done with the Jags to become their next head coach. From everything I've read, Dave, the way this is going to work out is Urban Meyer isn't going to be someone that's running the defense or running the offense. He is going to build a staff of NFL guys. Like many people thought, oh, would he go and poach the Ohio State staff? Would he go bring some guys up from college? Everything we've heard is he's going to go get guys that know the NFL in order to be successful. Also, there are people that are saying that Kurt Herbstreit said something during the national championship game that kind of raised some eyebrows about this, where it was kind of like it'll be interesting to see what happens with this Ohio State team. Would love to elaborate on it now, but we can't elaborate on it now. So people are wondering, does that mean Urban Meyer is going to go to the Jaguars and, some guys from Ohio State will be either drafted or taken from their coaching staff?
Just remember, when Pete Carroll left USC directly to go to the Seahawks, he passed up on his own player.
Okay.
Took Richard Sherman.
Good point.
Over Taylor Mays. I believe that was that year. So loyalty is one thing, yes. But at the same time, I think that talent evaluation, something that Urban has had a lot of time, and he's been very good at finding the right guys for his system. So
yeah.
I think, you'll see an Ohio State guy land on this team. But I don't know if, the rumors of Fields potentially being a target for them are even remotely true, because I can't even fucking imagine. I can't fathom it, Ricky.
No.
Did you hear that rumor? Because I did.
No.
Because he mentioned 3 names. He mentioned 3 names. He said Lawrence, Fields, Wilson. Heck players. Good players.
I will say Pat McAfee made me laugh because he got to the joke before I could get to the joke. So I got a tip of the cap whenever you can beat me to a joke. He goes they talk about Urban Meyer. It looks like he's going to be the next head coach of the Jaguars. And he goes, did this make Justin Fields the number 1 pick in the draft? And then he kind of jokingly goes, because those are going to start. Blog boys and news markets are just going to be like, Justin Fields number 1?
To number 1. Jets are going up to 1. It's going to happen. Just wait and watch. Jaguars are going to get Fields at 2 and a whole lot of draft capital from the New York Jets.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I just see Lawrence being taken. The interesting thing for me about this is name a I'm trying to think of a coach that the last time it was just hey, I'm not going to run the offense. I'm not going to run the defense. I'm just going to do my thing. And I'm going to make sure I'm running the team and not having to focus on the defensive coordinator will call the plays here. The offensive coordinator will call the plays here. I'm just going to kind of basically everything that we hear on Pat McAfee, where it's I will talk to him. We got to get that sorted out. I will talk. I will manage him.
I will talk.
We're is that going to work in Jacksonville, where basically Urban Meyer's just a culture guy who obviously knows the team, but his main goal is to, hey, I'm going to build this team. I'm going to make sure we obviously have the philosophies that I want to do here, but basically it's just a lot of managing and not me actually executing on the field, me managing pieces and putting guys in the right situations to succeed.
I think it's probably happening more than you think, as far as head coaches who aren't doing hands-on play calling all the damn time.
Yeah,
there are certain examples of guys, obviously, but I think it is semi-common where head coaches aren't 100% attached at the hip and taking over offensive or defensive duties from their assistant coaches. Regardless, Urban Meyer is there because he has an aura around him of winning. And you want to establish that in Jacksonville. You want to go ahead, get a name where a lot of the guys in the league, who are veterans, have maybe in college played against Urban Meyer teams. They're aware of what he was able to do in college. So maybe it's maybe that'll give us a boost in free agency because Urban Meyer was a legend to them. And then guys coming into the league through the draft, they're going to know Urban Meyer's the guy I looked up to because he was a great coach. He won all the national championships, all that shit. And he's great with coaching young kids. So I think you get a double benefit. I think it's a good hire, but we will have to wait and see if he is the right culture guy. Yeah. We don't know how he is in person with grown ass men. Yeah. We've yet to see that happen. So
Dave, you want to know how you build a culture? And I can't believe it took me this long to think about this, Dave. You know how we got Kellen Moore? I believe he was the quarterback coach with the Cowboys. Yes. Now I believe he is the OC with the Cowboys. How you start building a culture, Dave? Who's Urban Meyer bring in to be his quarterback coach? Tim Tebow, baby. Give that guy a call on the SEC network and go, hey, how would you like to be the quarterback coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
He's a professional baseball player, Rick. He's still taking things at the plate.
He was with the Mets minor league team too. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
would that be enough to draw Tim Tebow away from baseball?
You could just bring him in for like halftime speeches, pregame speeches, whatever. He's a positive speech person for your team. The power of positivity, you know, like. Sorry, New Day. But that's what he is.
The power.
Like nobody wants to listen to him as a coach because let's be honest, like he sucked as a football player. But you know what he did do? He's a really good talker. He's an incredible human being who's done great his whole life.
He's a motivator, Dave.
He's a motivator, you know? Good guy to have as a talker, as a weekly kind of guy to bring around the team.
Yeah, and the only thing about this that like I had a
super
question
deep in the
about.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, super deep in the Kool-Aid. Ben even says he's definitely going to be excited to see how Urban Meyer is in Jacksonville. And like the only thing with this that people are saying like, is this why we were waiting on this? Is apparently there are rumors that Jags owner Shad Khan, father of AEW, Shad Khan, father of Tony Khan for AEW. Apparently the big thing that they were discussing, obviously no one knows, it's just speculation, is how much control Urban Meyer would have. Because apparently, and yet again, we've seen this with college coaches. Bill O'Brien with the Houston Texans. Chip Kelly with the Eagles. We have seen guys come in from college, and it's like, I want complete control of this team. I want to kind of be like the Ifdo Stando, like GM head coach kind of a situation. And apparently that was not going to fly with Shad, where it's basically no, I still have my hands on this team. I can see why it's like that because he's throwing a lot of money into this team, especially if he's going out to get an Urban Meyer to be his head coach. What the rumored was about, I think, 17 mil or was it 12? It was like 12 to 17. I know $5 million is a big margin.
I want to say it was 5 years, 60, which would put it in the 12 mil.
That sounds about right. Like for me, it was like that's still big to go after a head coach with about 12 to 12.5 million. Where
it might be 16. Who am I kidding?
I'm
not looking at it. I'm too lazy to look it up.
You're fine. Like people in the comment section, that's what they do. That's what they do for us.
Us
they love telling us when we're wrong, right? But I mean, back to the main point of like, Khan still wanted to have control of the team. Yeah. And I think that's important because I think that when we see these coaches come in from college and have total control, that's where more, it's not that I think that Urban Meyer would fuck up in that situation. It's just look at what we've seen with Bill O'Brien and then look at what we've seen with Chip Kelly. Like, remember the Chip Kelly stuff where it's like, this is how many hours you sleep. This is when you go to bed. Heart monitors at practice. We're going to run this many plays. Like,
and I will say, like, those teams could have been great. And I think that he was ahead of the game when it came to the sports health first kind of thing. Yeah. Like, athletes need to take care of their bodies. And we saw that take effect across the league. I think he went too far, maybe. He was
telling grown-ass men what to do, they don't take it the same as college kids.
100% agree. Before. Yeah. But I think it was like he had the right idea. He just went way too far into it. And then, like, over time, teams have gotten, like, yeah, we give a fuck about what you do in your free time, but, like, we're not going to be, like, you know, Big Brother just fucking staring at you.
Yeah. Quick question. Could you imagine what James Harden would be like with a coach like Chip Kelly? Would that even work at all?
Wouldn't. Because James Harden would have a presser and be like, ain't fucking doing it. Can't do it, won't do it.
I fucking thought of that just now. I'm like, shit, like, that is something that I would kind of want to see is James Harden have a coach like Chip Kelly. But yeah, I think Urban Meyer, if I have to put a prediction on it, Dave, I think it's going to work out. I think he's going to put the best staff around the Jaguars. They're going to get Trevor Lawrence with the number 1 overall pick. And then it's basically
best staff, but
I mean,
I'll put together an okay staff.
It's good. It's good that the rumors are they're going for NFL guys, not just straight college guys. I like that.
Yeah.
Get guys that understand the NFL and don't have to do a learning curve like you may have to do.
But at the same time, I kind of want to be on the other side of this ball and be like, could you imagine college superstar coaching staff of like Urban Meyer head coach, Lincoln Riley OC. I don't know the hottest name in college defenses. Who's Bama's defensive coordinator? Or Clemson's defensive coordinator. One of those motherfuckers.
I know who I would get. Here, let me see. Tennessee head coach college, because I'm pretty sure the guy I would get is I'm pretty sure it was a DC for Alabama, Jeremy Pruitt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, give me Pruitt on the defensive side. Give me Lincoln Riley on the offensive side, and Urban Meyer is the head coach. And let's see what the college guys can do. It's the ultimate test of like old school mentality NFL versus. I mean, they're all older, but like new school college football style. What wins out? I would love to see that.
Like Pruitt before going to Tennessee in 2018, Dave. From 2013 to 2017, he spent time as the defensive coordinator at Florida State, Georgia, and then Alabama. Like,
what a fucking rep.
Like that's the guy I would target, because Tennessee, the Volunteers. Sorry, Tennessee fans, but you're not really doing anything.
But it's great
in 2 years.
A Tennessee ball.
It is great, Dave. Let's move on to the last coaching hire.
I need you to give me a take on the like super staff of college. Like, would that work?
I don't know if it would. I don't know. And like, yet again, if you get Lincoln Riley and maybe like a Jeremy Pruitt, then yes, it'll probably work
for this job. I'm just saying, like hypothetically, like
I mean, it just like. God, could you imagine then Lincoln Riley's offense with fucking Trevor Lawrence?
And
like, he's had great quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, but you give him arguably the fucking last generational talent or the next generational talent that we're going to see that we compare to Andrew Luck. Like, I think it would work. I just have the question of usually like college to NFL, there are learning curves, because usually like what we've seen recently is the college game changed. And now the NFL is like it could work in that sense. The NFL is taking things from college to where you're then ahead of the curve because you're doing things. Yeah,
I'm getting a little hype, Ricky.
Just take the ball deep, take the top off the defense. Fucking,
I love to see
torch team.
But let's continue on to realism.
The last one, Arthur Smith. He is going to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Dave, Smith is 38. He'll replace Dan Quinn, who the Falcons fired along with general manager Thomas Dimitroff on October 11th after an 0-5 start.
Yeah, that turned the team around pretty quickly. I was kind of surprised by the instant leadership change. The players bought in, and obviously we all know that the 0-5 should not have been 0-5. That was horrible in-game play calling. That literally cost them 3 or 4 of those games where they should have won, and instead they are the Falcons who give up the victory. They just hand you the fucking win, you know?
Yeah. And like the big question that I want to start with here, Dave, is Matt Ryan, because the whole thing we were saying is, what's Matt Ryan's future with this team? Is he going to be traded? Are they going to take a quarterback at 4? We got to wait for the coach to come in. Dave, am I wrong for thinking that with Arthur Smith being the guy that the Falcons hire, yes, I know Arthur Blank has said, well, whatever the coach wants to do, he wants a new guy, he wants an old guy, as I spill all over my desk. Old guy, new guy, basically, Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee became actually good again after his time in Miami. Can he do the same with Matt Ryan?
Well, Matt Ryan was excellent. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the game, and literally just a couple of years removed from being the guy who lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
but I think his arm is trending downward at this point in his career. I think he's
toast.
still a smart quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's probably a team out there heavily rumored, to be potentially interested in him. Mm-hmm. So I understand the contract is what it is, and he probably isn't going to take less money. But I would try to find a deal to move on from him so you can get that. Again, we talk about that connection. New coach, new quarterback. Let's pair him up. Let's move forward. Let's get Zach Wilson on board.
Yeah, and that's the thing where I don't know if any of these quarterbacks in this class.
Yeah.
I do. I have a little frog in my throat. If any of these quarterbacks fit what Ryan Tannehill was doing with the Jaguars. Man, I got a lot of water here. But basically,
Titans.
I think that like Ben says, Fields in Atlanta would be nice for sure. It'd be nice, but I wonder now. I'm starting to lean towards the Matt Ryan may be coming back, and they might pass on a quarterback this year. Is that going to be the right choice? Probably not, because like you said, Dave,
because of the contract. Here's the problem: you could take a quarterback this high in this draft and just put the pin on Matt Ryan's back and just be like, "Hey, you're not our future."
Mm-hmm.
There's no confusing that. But we don't know the next time we're going to be this high in a draft
to take
where
a
quarterback. We can get a guy this talented.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to sacrifice future assets to try to trade up to get someone who we think either Fields or Wilson could be available. So, I think this is a situation where I'm with you. I think Ryan's there to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's there to end the season.
Yeah.
I don't see him being moved this season.
Now, is Julio traded? That's another discussion. Is Julio gone?
That's tougher.
And Matt Ryan is there? Because I could see that happening. Julio demands a higher price.
In a QB, even if he's not starting.
Mm-hmm. Ask it again. Ask it again. I didn't hear you.
You said words out loud. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I know. I was worrying about cleaning up the fucking shit that's all over my glass desk. So for me, repeat the question.
Could you see if they are keeping Matt Ryan, could they still take a quarterback this high in the draft?
Yes, they could. That's the thing where it's you could always take him, have him sit behind Matt Ryan, and that's probably what they'll still do. Because the thing that I feel like this team needs, and what I'm more intrigued to see, is what do they do with running back either in free agency or in the draft? Because there are two guys that I feel like that's the thing. Arthur Smith's offense in Tennessee, and yet again, is it going to be the same thing where he has to think okay, I had success in Tennessee because we had a guy like Derrick Henry. Let me find a running back that can do the same there. And I know people are saying, Ricky, fucking Derrick Henry is beast.
He's a 101. He broke the mold.
He is a beast out there. But there are running backs in this draft class that I can see being a same style running back as him. One of those being just Najee Harris from yet again Alabama. But the thing is, if he trends upward into the first round, are you really gonna trade assets to try to get up into the first round, not to get a quarterback, but to get a running back? I don't really know if you do that. I can't remember the last time a team was like, yo, let's trade up in a draft into a first round to get a running back.
Yeah, that probably would have been a while ago. Or it could have been last year, and I just have no memory span because the NFL draft has a fucking 7 rounds. It took me a minute there. 7 rounds and a fuck ton of picks. So, could happen. But yeah, I think that here's my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Does he try to replicate what he did in Tennessee? Or does he try to say, hey, I can make it work. It's just I'm the guy who had those weapons, and I made the most of them.
Yeah.
Put whatever's on my plate, and I will make the most of it again.
Yeah, see.
Remember, he's not a GM. He is a coach. So it's not like his final call. We hear a lot of these coaches who are like they have no say sometimes in the players picked.
Yeah, I don't think it would be very, 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 unless him and the GM have a plan. Hey, this is what I want to do. You're going to make sure we get the right guys to fit my system. Yet again, when you start over at a new place, you can't just come in and go, all right, I'm going to fucking put this outline over this offense. Because guys may get squished.
Yeah, scheme does not. The talent's not equal. You can't just drop a scheme on top of a blank roster and make it work.
Yeah, like obviously he's going to want to run a scheme that works for him, but I think that the first year it's going to be a lot of like, okay, how do I make my scheme fit for this team? What do I have to change? Because he may be going with Matt Ryan. Hey, he may even want to go with Matt Ryan. Julio Jones may not be there. He might not be there. Eric even says he has worked with Julio Jones. So maybe that's why they brought him in. Like, hey, maybe we don't have to trade Julio because they have worked together in the past. I am intrigued to see how this works. I think this is a good hire by the Falcons. They're getting a guy who's offensive minded. The other two, like, it's weird. The one was defense. One was kind of, I'm not going to be focused on either. I'm just basically a manager for this. Yeah. And then basically now we have the offensive coach. I have a feeling they made this hire because they're like, well, if you want to get rid of Matt Ryan, you can. But they did it because it's like, hey, you've worked out with Tannehill. Matt Ryan, yeah, you got another aging quarterback. Let's see if you can basically do it again. But I think that in a few years, we will see the Falcons offense be back to, fuck it, I'm not going that far. I was going to go that far, but then I'm like, man, those Kyle Shanahan offenses were really fucking good.
Yeah, I was going to say, Shanahan's a fucking wizard, so.
Plus, I will say, the only thing about Arthur Smith I don't like is, and yet again, I'm hyper analyzing on the one playoff game from last week, but it's like he goes to what's working. Like AJ Brown, hey, this is working earlier in the game, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's force feed Derrick Henry down their throat. It's like fucking AJ Brown was working. Throw it to him more.
Yep. Like stick with my hand. Sometimes it gets frustrating. I know the philosophy of the team is the run game. You open things up through the run game. You survive. You kill clock. Yeah. All those wonderful things. But can we be honest here? Atlanta's problem wasn't exactly their offense, Ricky.
Their defense.
It was their defense, and it was
injuries
their
too on
clock
the defense.
Management.
Yeah.
So like one thing he could fix is clock management. I don't know if he's going to be excellent or if he's going to hire a guy who is a fucking wizard at it, because that seems to be almost a specialized role that could be seen soon. Yeah. But I do wonder about the defense. You know, what are they going to do to not be shit?
Yeah. And like, yet again, there were some defense.
We're talking about wasting draft capital on a quarterback at the top of the draft, and maybe it should be better off than going for someone on the defense end.
Fucking Micah Parsons, Gregory Rousseau, get that pass rush. Maybe that's the way that they have to go with it. But Dave, before we go into divisional picks, let's do a segment we love to do.
Ooh.
And that's Wet Boys. Dampest of dudes, soggiest of shooters, moistest of men, and sometimes the mistiest of the misses. These are our players of the game from the day prior. All these coming from Thursday. How it works is Dave gives a wet boy, I give a wet boy, and then the patrons at patreon.com/MVPvids also give a wet boy of their own. We have 3 today. Dave, I'm going to start with you. Who's your wet boy? January 15th, 2021.
I mean, this one was easy. We got to hear everything about this as we wrapped up our show yesterday. 76ers, Ricky was a gambling man, rolling the hot hand. He's like, guys, I think Shake. I need Shake over 15.
Yep, 15 plus. Like, he could have had 15. It would have worked.
But instead, Shake popped off. Shake did not see. Once Shake started, he didn't stop. And I know this is a 76
Shake
team.
Shake a big baby.
They were already kind of stressed on talent because all the injuries, the COVID, all that stuff going on.
COVID.
But Shake Milton, fucking Shake Milton. He is someone who, Jake, loyal fan, big patron, talked about going into there. Doc was a big fan of Shake. And the one thing that we've always known about Doc Rivers' offense is, or I'm in basketball defense. Oh my God.
Offense.
Basketball, football. It's killing me. Doc Rivers as a coach loves to get his guards involved heavily. And there's heavy ball handling, additional ISO, shots. He's all about in guard involvement, even off ball movement. He's a big proponent of that. And you can see that now more than ever with what Shake Milton, Seth Curry are able to do for the 76ers team. And especially when you look back at the poor numbers from Lou Williams and Luke Kennard on the Clippers without him there. So, like, he is the coach to unlock these kind of guys, and I love what he's doing. So, wet boy to Shake. Shout out to our boy Doc over there.
Dave, it was, as many of the fans do know, I've been open about it, getting into the whole sports betting, sports gambling. Shake did great things. He started out my night on a high, Dave, but it did not end on a high. It did not. $5 wager, $89 payout, Dave.
Yeah.
One Malcolm Brogdon assist. He had 7. I needed 8. And one James Wiseman rebound kept me from $89, Dave. It hurt in the end. I'm going to ask you this live on the show. I have not asked you yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw 4 things out at you. You tell me yay or nay for tonight.
Okay.
Alfred Payton against the Cavs. Sexland is out. Garland and Sexton are out.
Ooh.
Payton, 10 or more points and a Knicks win in Cleveland.
Knicks win in Cleveland. Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be tough, but I'll take it.
DeAndre Hunter, tonight against the Jazz, over 6.5 rebounds. As the Hawks play the Jazz.
Jazz, over 6.5. I like that line.
Okay.
Yeah, actually. He's been playing so well.
Mm-hmm.
He has been playing so well. He gets his minutes in. I'm just concerned. There's a lot of talls.
Yeah.
You got talls on both teams now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going under. Fuck it.
Okay.
Sorry, can't agree.
Batum, over 1.5 threes made. So he just needs 2 against the Kings.
Batum's got that against the Kings. Yeah.
And then Dave, the last one, near and dear to our heart.
Oh.
Wendell Carter, 10 plus points and a Bulls win against the Thunder.
This is our first game back in a week.
Since Sunday.
I don't
we
trust him.
should be rested, Dave. Should be rested.
I don't trust him.
Back at the UC.
I don't trust him.
Dave's like, I don't trust. No, I think it's an OKC, which is better because he plays better on the road.
It is an OKC.
It was a 5-team parlay to start. I had Cat over 11.5 boards, but obviously T's and P's to Cat for the news you broke to me as we started the show. Obviously, he recovers as he tested positive for COVID, and it sucks with his situation just because of everything that's going on with him, even before the season started.
His family, I mean,
with COVID,
he lost a lot of people in his family, and it's definitely a tough disease. That's just it's very tough for him.
Yeah,
his Twitter message out there, like reading that, you just feel gutted.
Yeah, and obviously, really hoping that he recovers from this, gets stronger from this, and we're pulling for you, Cat. But my wet boy, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
He ate himself a game. I'm finally unlike Shaq, I know this guy's name. I just forget to say it. So some may call me a casual, Dave, but you can't anymore. I'm going with Christian Wood. Finally putting the respect on his name. 27 points, 15 boards. A stellar post-game interview when Shaq was like, hey, man, I apologize for not really knowing you that well early on. And fucking Christian Wood calling him a casual. Obviously, he was joking, but it was still baller to hear it. Where my first thought was, do you even watch, bro?
Jokingly said it, but he did tell the truth.
Yeah, he did tell the truth, where I was like, immediately, yo, Shaq, do you even watch, bro?
He doesn't.
Do you even watch, bro? Like, you gotta watch. We all know why him and Charles are like, and I'm not saying Charles doesn't watch, but like, we all know why they're there. They're personalities.
Yep. 100%.
They're not there to focus on, like, Dave, what nationality is Jokic?
Russian, apparently.
Apparently he's Russian. He's Ivan Drago out there. But Christian Wood, great game. And then Dave, it's our first of 2020. I was extending the camera. First hockey wet boy of the year.
Okay.
Some would say the best player, or how am I going to put this? The best young player in hockey, could even be the best player in hockey. Connor McDavid has your name in his name, Dave. Had himself a night last night. I didn't watch this game, as apparently hockey games are hard to come by unless they're on NBC or the NHL Network. I was able to watch some Caps and
Sabres. Frozen Fellow of 2021.
Frozen Fellow, I like it. He's our first Frozen Fellow of 2021. 4 points, 3 goals, and an assist, and plus 2 on the plus minus. So doing some things defensively out there. Connor McDavid getting the wet boy. And Dave, let's end the show. Let's go into divisional picks. We got 4 games this weekend. We will start with the Saturday games. The Rams against the Packers. Dave, the line is still -6.5 going in favor of the Green Machine in Green Bay. My thought isn't like -16. It's shit. Like, do the Packers win by 14 or more in this one? That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know if it's... I'm taking the Packers. I don't know who will win. I don't know how much they'll win by. That is a large line. Wait, you said 6 or 16, Ricky?
6.5. 6.
Okay.
6.
Yeah. I will take that then. I will 100% take the Packers by that. No problem in my mind. Although I did pick against this Rams team last time. And doesn't matter who they have at quarterback. Honestly doesn't. Aaron Donald's a big fucking dude.
But this Packers team is... I know Aaron Donald is a beast, but like this Packer team is different.
And it's going to be cold.
It is going to be cold. It's going to be fucking brutal for a dome team that likes playing in beautiful LA. Dave, how are they going to handle the frozen tundra?
Lambeau.
ESPN says 37 degrees tomorrow.
I can't spell Lambeau.
Lambeau? It's Lambeau. Only because I have it right in front of me.
Well done then.
Yeah, 37 and cloudy.
At this point, it was just like okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know ESPN had that game information. 37 and cloudy yet again. But like I said, Aaron Donald's a beast, but Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. This offense is better than Russell Wilson. This defense is better than the Seahawks defense. That's why I'm confident in my Super Bowl pick, which is the Green Bay Packers to get it done. And Aaron Rodgers to complete the storybook season after his team went ahead and drafted a quarterback. He's going to take that one personally, Dave, and go win a Super Bowl. The second game on Saturday, this is the one on Saturday I am most intrigued about, Dave. Ravens-Bills, only because I can see, like, the Bills are my team, Dave. I'm riding with the Bills. I think they win. The line is -2.5 Bills, which is a very close line for this one. Lamar Jackson just won his first playoff game. It's going to be 37 and snowy potentially in good old Buffalo's 2 frozen games going on tomorrow. Dave, I know Lamar Jackson won his first playoff game. Do him and the Ravens have enough to get past the firepower offense, which is Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills?
Can't do it, won't do it. Riding with the Bills Mafia on this one. I love so much about what this team has done this year, the way that Josh Allen's exploded onto the scene. Throw his name in the MVP race. Not going to win it, but he's up there at least.
Yeah.
I mean, the offense, especially in their defense, just gets at it. So, no, I'm a big fan of the Bills taking this game. Ravens are a good team, but they are pieces away still.
Yeah, if anything, I see it. I know I talked a big game about the Bills offense, but if anything, I may see it a little bit like last week where Bills may win by 3, maybe one like 3 or 4 point win because this Ravens defense is good. It's just this Bills team at home, they're going to find a way to win. People are split down the middle, Dave. The matchup predictor actually going 51% in favor of the Ravens. I'm not agreeing there. I'm going with the Bills because no one circles the wagons, Dave, like the Buffalo Bills.
Agreed.
Sunday games, Dave. It starts off with a doozy at 2:05 p.m. Central Time, Dave. I'm confident in who's going to win this game, even though I am going to root for the other side, Dave. But I did say I had a question about the line of this game. So Browns-Chiefs in Arrowhead. Weather's going to be 41 and sunny potentially.
That's pretty good.
In Arrowhead. +10, though, to the Browns. Yeah. I feel like the Chiefs will win. My question is, do the Browns actually have it in them to cover that and lose by less than 10?
Man, this Browns team is fun. I never thought I'd say it in my lifetime. They are fun, and I don't want to give up on them. I think they will fight to the end on this game. I think that the Chiefs all season have been eking by victories. They turn on when they need to. I don't think this is a game. Now watch. It's one of two things. They're either going to eke out another victory here, because I do have the Chiefs winning. I will agree with you. I am rooting Browns, but I do think the Chiefs will win. But it's like, in my head, it's like 70% chance it's like a 3-point game.
Yeah.
But then there's a 30% chance that they kick the living shit out of the Brownies.
I know.
And it's like a 44-10 game.
Yeah.
And it's just like the defense is clicking, the offense is clicking. It's a massacre out there.
It's also a rested Chiefs team where, so I still have to listen to Hamadon to see what they think about the, like, I always want to listen to the Friday edition because that's when it's like the big games. I want to hear, I wish I knew the stat for Andy Reid teams coming off of a bye. Do they cover most times? Do they not?
I believe it was, yes, but then there was also the question of when you're coming off a bye, you have 2 weeks to prep for the same team.
Yeah.
And coming off of a playoff bye, you do not have 2 weeks. It's 1 week of rest, 1 week of targeted practice.
Yeah. Where like this one, I'm the same as you. Like I could see the Browns keeping this one close, and competing to the end. But then there's a small amount of me of like, dude, the Chiefs on rest, are they just gonna come out and blow this team out of the water? I don't know what I'm gonna do for a line, Dave. I'll have to decide that later. But Chiefs win this game. That's what I'm going for with a pick. I would love to see Browns Bills in the AFC Championship game because then my pick becomes easy with the Bills going on to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I feel like the Chiefs get it done in this one. And then Dave, another hard pick. I may shock some people with this pick, but we got the History Bowl, Dave. Did you see that tweet, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
That I was going to show up, but you guys probably seen it. The old heads, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. The line is -3 to the Saints, Dave. Mm-hmm. I'm going Bucks on this one. I think Tom Brady and this Bucks team turning it on at the right time. What I saw last week, what I saw in the end of the year with them, like how they have just railed off wins to end the season. I think the Bucks are the hot hand. They get the win in New Orleans against the Saints team that, yes, a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas, but they weren't that far off from losing to the Bears.
You know, I feel very bad because this is a very boring pick show. Because I agree with you. Mm-hmm. I think that this is probably the easiest weekend of picks we've ever had.
We say that and then watch, we'll all be wrong.
I mean, if we're all wrong, that means we've had some incredible football or we've had some horrific injuries.
Yeah.
Either way, I will be entertained. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you. I think the Bucks clicked at the right time. The Saints, well, they have an awesome offense and they can compete and they can keep it close. It just feels like it's Tom Brady's fucking time. And I know Drew Brees wants to ride out his last season, get a win one for, on his way out, a la John Elway. Ain't happening. I'm sorry, buddy. Not happening.
No, Tom Brady's going to do that. Tom Brady wins this one and says, goodbye, folks.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm kidding.
Tom Brady could win this one, and he's going to be back next year. He'll be back the year after that.
But dude,
then he might quit.
He's got to get past the MVP this year. Can you imagine Bills Packers or not Bills Packers, Bucks
Packers to happen next week? Oh my god!
In Lambeau,
dude, that's the game. Like these games are going to be great. And I think these are actually close matchups in every single one of these games.
Yeah.
Outside of that Rams situation where it could be close purely because of the level of crazy talent on that defense. Their offense, shit though, obviously. But I do wonder, like, we're going to get 3 great games, like, period. I don't think that any one of those will miss. But next week, could you imagine? Yeah. Bucks, Pack, Chiefs, Bills?
Or,
are you kidding? That's two Super Bowls.
Or Bills, Browns?
No, we get 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, we do.
We get 3 Super Bowls effectively this year.
With the actual awesome. Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, this week.
The NFL, it doesn't happen often for me where I'm like, the best teams have made it. But, like, I think right now we're on track for, like, the best possible games we could get.
Also, what I'm going to do to end the show, Dave, for anyone betting out there, and yet again, I am getting into it, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on just the lines that I'm taking. Money line or spread. I would go the spread with the Packers, -6.5 is juicy. Bills -2.5. I'll go that over the money line. Chiefs Browns, I can't give you an answer. I'd probably go with -10.5, but I really want to go +10 for the Browns, and then obviously money line with the Bucks because I think they're going to win, and you'll get plus instead of minus with the money line there. But Can't wait for a great weekend of football, Dave. Should be great. Can't wait for the matchups we possibly get next week. Thank you guys for doing everything you do. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Link down below. Our exclamation Discord gets it into Twitch chat for you. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids where you go. Or you can throw us a sub on YouTube. Or on Twitch. I want to actually say thanks to Ben, the Celtics fan, earlier in the show. It said is gifting a sub to our community, and it said he gifted a sub to Jake Neverman. So Jake gets a sub. Thank you, Ben, for doing that. You can throw your Prime Gaming at us if you haven't already. Helps us out, and it gets you into the watch along, so you can talk with us while we're watching basketball, football, everything that we love to watch with our fans. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/MVPvids. We're on YouTube, MVP Sports. I am gonna go and wipe off my desk because yeah, it's still a little wet on this mouse pad. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You guys have a great week. And as always, have a good day, everybody.